Welcome back to the workshop, everybody. So glad you could be with me here today in the workshop. Walter here at the woodpile. So, got her done. Got all the ripping, got all the cross-cutting done, got it racked and stacked. I've got 3 fans behind there. They're off right now. I will turn them on low when I leave the building. And if the weather's nice, as I mentioned, the doors will get opened, exchange the air, fresh air, stale air, moisture for dry. And yeah, we've got white oak on the bottom, then we go up to red oak, then we go to walnut, then we go to cherry, and there's one board of thin red oak near the top. I didn't want to mix that in with the thicker red oak. So, what is this stuff? Okay? And what should you consider when drying wood indoors in your workshop? All right. This wood came from what we would call offfall or waste from another process. And the process is making veneer, hardwood veneers. What happens is when these veneer slicers cut these ultra-fine veneers off for making plywood, they get to a point where they can't slice anymore. That's that. It's called a backer board. It's the back, or in reality, the center of the log. And I'm really surprised they never figured out a way to slice from the center log to the back, to the outside, because that's where the valuable stuff is. The quarter sawn grain, the quartered grain, it's really not sawn, but the quartered grain. All right, so when I was ripping, we were exposing fresh edges, and you could see the wood was sopping, wringing wet. When I cross-cut, I was taking away an inch or 2 off the ends of the boards to expose fresh wood. Now, I'm surprised nobody asked me, why would I expose fresh wood? Is it going to crack? Is it going to check? Okay. The answer is yes, it may crack. But these logs were either steamed or soaked in nearly boiling water to make them soft enough and pliable enough to slice the veneers off. So on the end grains, it really went in deep. So by slicing those 1 or 2 inch pieces off the ends, I'm really not worried about it because these things have been, like I say, soaked or steamed. And if I get a crack, I get a crack. But to date, over the last 3 or 4 years, I've never seen an end crack caused by drying. Now, the sad part about this stack of wood is that it more or less will be my last stack of wood. I have more wood than I can finish using up in my lifetime. I doubt I will get to this wood unless I come up with a brainstorm of a project. I mean, as it dries, I could use it for paneling. I could panel the workshop with it. I could do a lot of different things. I could build crates out of it. It doesn't matter. But if you know anybody that needs quarter sawn or quarter grain, white oak, red oak, cherry, walnut in thin lumber, let me know. So the type of wood that you end up with when it's dry looks like this. This is a piece of cherry I had about 3-4 years ago. Look at the figure in that. Okay? And you can see cherry does an interesting thing. Anywhere where it's exposed to sun or oxygen, it will oxidize. So you can see the color change. This had another board standing in front of it. So on these, I still have nearly all of the sapwood. In fact, it's a little uneven here. And this side, I've ripped away the defect. This is a piece of tulip poplar. Now, they don't make a lot of tulip poplar veneer, but there is a need for it. And that is for the centers of quality hardwood plywood. They use tulip poplar a lot of times. But look at that. Clear sapwood, clear heartwood, no knots, it's clear end to end, and it's stable. I love tulip poplar. Tulip poplar, besides a nice, clear, quality grain pine, tulip poplar is perhaps my favorite wood to work. After that would be the cherry, and after the cherry, the different maples, soft maple, then hard maple with figure, curly, quilted, so on and so forth, and then my nemesis, which is walnut. I personally absolutely loathe and abhor oak, especially red oak. But when it's quarter grain like the stuff back here, I make concessions because it's beautiful. I just don't like working it. That open grain of the red oak, the white oak's harder to work, but it is a beautiful grain. It's a much prettier grain. So, this is what it looks like after it's dry. Now, when you're drying lumber in your workshop, as I may have alluded to, I may not have alluded to, it makes everything wet. It makes your drywall wet, it makes other wood wet, it makes boxes of stored tools or papers or whatever, it makes everything damp. So you need to constantly exchange the air, because in the wood is not only water, but there's other compounds, tannins and other compounds. I'm not going to get into what they are. So one of the key things is to keep your room warm. Kick the heat on for 15-20 minutes a day, keep the room warm, and that way there's no cold surfaces for all this dampness to cling to. All right? And every day they'll get better. Okay, every day they'll lose some moisture, every day the room will get aired out, and over time it will be fine. But I have a deadline. By September 1st, this stack has to be gone. Why September 1st? Because September 1st is a trigger in my mind that winter's coming, and so I can wrap things up, and by October 1st, it's all taken care of. This space becomes storage for a truck and trailer, and so I lose this space. And then I'm also looking at logs over here, logs over here. I have logs outside that all need to be processed. And they all have to go as well. I've got shelves full of things in here that I've been through in the last 5 years. I've been purging my life for 5 years now, and I will continue to purge it, because he who dies with the most stuff just leaves a mess for everybody else to clean up. So my goal is to get this building eventually cleaned out to the walls. Okay? Unless something really strange happens, something financially changes. This was supposed to be a school. The building is 24 by 48. I was going to put workbenches and wood lathes and a few other things in here, and this was going to be a school. But after I found out some of the legalities that I was headbutting with, I decided that I'm not going to headbutt with the local authorities and my insurance providers, and I let it go. All right? But this was supposed to be a school, a place of learning. So unless something strange happens, I need to empty this building out. So if you know anybody looking for wood, logs, basswood, I got beautiful chunks of basswood about 20 inches long, whole logs, and other half logs and other sections. I've got some walnut over here, some aspen bowl blanks, some ash bowl blanks. I've got wood all over the place. Baseball bat blanks. Over here, I've got 100 baseball bat blanks in ash and maple. Amongst all of this stuff that's dry already. I don't know how many hundreds of these I have. And this is only one building. I have another building next door, smaller, but it is filled to the brim with wood. And then I've got another shed, not so much filled, but it could use a good hoeing out as well. So, yeah. Veneer backer boards. They're quartered grain. They're beautiful. When you're drying the wood, it's best to dry it outside for the first 6 months on sticks. But our weather has been nothing but rain since July of last year. And so it's better off in here. At least I can turn the heat on once in a while, open the doors up on nice days. So what do you think? Our first one-on-one? Now you know who Dusty Splinters is. That's me. Thank you very much. And it was great having you here today. I hope you come back again. I hope I haven't scared too many people off. Not with that mug. And if you have any comments or questions, leave it down in the description box there in the comment section. And that's about it. Thumbs up to you, because you're going to head out to your workshop and make some shavings. Walter out.